Welcome to the Sage Advice Podcast, transforming the way people think and work so their organizations can thrive. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Joe Abesamis. Joe is the redemptive CPA who has existed to fix what is wrong in the public accounting industry. He has spent the last 13 years working in various white-collar sweatshops where billable hours are valued more over outcomes, where profits come before people, and where men become machines. He wants to reverse the curse. Joe believes that leaders should run their businesses like non-for-profit, where the profit is not solely monetary, it is transformative. Welcome to the Sage Advice Podcast, Joe Abesamis.
Thanks, Ed. I'm glad to be here.
Well, first off, Joe, why do you do what you do? Why do you continue to do accounting?
I continue to do accounting because I genuinely care for people. It's one of those things where, the working on tax returns and working a lot of hours on a formula of assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. It might not sound really appealing to a new grad, but what it really allows me to do is to take care of people in a very sensitive place where they're not showing, they're not showing their friends or their closest, people around them, hey, this is how much money I made. But no, they're actually coming to people like me and paying me to kind of be their advisor and be there to help them. And so it allows me to kind of jump directly into a very intimate part of somebody's life and help them grow. And that's what I find a lot of fulfillment in.
So share your thoughts on why you think the accounting profession really needs to be transformed.
Yeah, I'm a millennial and I've been a part of a ton of different firms. And one of the main problems is, there's not enough CPAs coming up that are retiring. And I'm trying to think of why that is. And after working in 13 years in public accounting, I think I found what the problem is. And I feel that the problem is that, one, it's the way that we value, what we value. We don't, currently the way things are is that a lot of CPA firms value the billable hour. And what happens there is that you're placing value through a formula. And when you do that, the way that your firm is going to operate is based off a formula. But you're kind of applying that formula onto people, and you're essentially creating a white collar sweatshop. And you are working people to death. And it's not really appealing for a millennial like me to say, yeah, I can't wait to, sign me up to be a partner so I can lead the next generation of people who will, work for me for my profit. And I think that that's one of the main issues that is in our industry right now is the idea that no one really wants to take the reins of this. And as the closer and closer I got to becoming a partner, the more conversations I started having. And one of the most notable ones was I was talking to a CFO who of a CPA firm, a pretty mid-sized regional firm in Orange County, and he told me, Joe, this whole thing is it's a Ponzi scheme. These partners, they're building assets for themselves, and you're going to be stuck with the liability to pay off their payout, over the next 10 years, while also trying to feed the monster of the CPA firm and the clients that we have and what you're trying to bring in. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that does not sound appealing. If the sweet spot for me to be a partner is when I retire, why do I need to spend the next 30 years, going through this zoo? And so that's what kind of inspired me to really think about business differently, to try and have a purpose behind why we do what we do. And in a white collar sweatshop, it's a breeding ground for nihilism, and where everything's meaningless. It's kind of like Office Space, but you're just living it out. And I wanted something different for the future of public accounting. And the way that I did that is I jumped out and started take over my old boss's firm as a sole proprietorship with about 3 people or 3 professionals. And a couple support staff. But I felt like that true change is not going to happen at the big firms. I think it has to start with the grassroots movement at a small boutique firm.
Yeah, no one leaves school thinking I want to bill the most hours, but it's amazing how quickly that's what they get thrown into the mindset of, is that's what you have to do.
Right, right. Yeah, it's incredible. I think I read a tweet out there that said, I owe to only have the confidence and of a college freshman who wants to be a CPA one day. But the truth is that it's not as sexy as it sounds when you're actually in the trenches. And when you're working on Saturday till midnight and not being able to see your family. And that's the kind of thing that I want to be able to reverse. So yeah.
So talk to me a little bit. Before we started recording, you mentioned that your firm has implemented some subscription-based pricing, especially with regard to COVID, or maybe not because of COVID, but before that, and it's really helped you in spite of COVID.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know if you know what's going on in the accounting industry right now, but there are layoffs left and right. There are partners having to do capital calls and having them to drop money in of their own money, and there are partners getting reduction of salary. But I think the main problem with it is that they haven't set up their, as much as CPAs help with, tax planning and everything like that, and business planning. I don't think that they've really set themselves up for success when they model everything based off of hours. So what we have done, or I think that the issue with these CPA firms who have done that is that they've worked a ton of hours from January to March. COVID happened, people started working from home, businesses started to fail. All the money is sitting, all the value is sitting in their accounts receivable, and these clients can't pay it. And so, CPA firms had to do what they have to do with letting go of staff and doing all those reductions. But with our firm, we've actually implemented a subscription-based pricing model where, we come up with a value. The clients in November for the following year, so in November 2019, we send out an engagement letter with with a agreement saying, okay, this is the value of your costs for the future year, and we haven't done any work, but this is how much it's going to cost you each month, and we're going to draft it out. So it's giving our customers the opportunity to be able to budget that into their services and plan accordingly. And so when COVID happened, we were pretty seamless. In fact, we're actually growing. And then also too, it's really sad what some other firms have been doing is they've been kind of price gouging a lot of these clients who are trying to get the PPP loan and saying, hey, we're going to take a percentage of the loan that you're granted on top of a consulting fee for implementing and helping you figure this whole thing out. And we were thankful and grateful enough to just be able to do that on the house for our clients who are paying us that same monthly fee. And so being on a subscription-based model allows our customers to plan for our services and budget for our services. And it kind of removes the barrier of like, oh, I'm going to call my CPA. Well, how much is that going to cost? So it's going to cost $300 an hour. So every 6 minutes or every cough makes a difference for the customer. It's a terrible customer experience, and we just want to eliminate that by implementing that subscription-based model.
I just want to be clear on 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
One, you said that you are growing during this time. And second, I want to hear that you did not change your price or increase your price because you had additional work to do for COVID, and that was just covered as part of the plan, even though you hadn't thought about it, didn't know what COVID was in November, but that's still included in your price.
Right. I'll adjust the second one. You might need to clarify the first question first. But we did not charge our clients for the additional work to figure out this PPP thing for them. Because we've had a lot of advances in our technology, we kind of use a proprietary system called Baco Tech, and that integrates with our customers' accounting software. So really, we just set up a couple rules, and we're tracking everything real time. Whenever they make a transaction for salaries, their projection is updated for what their forgiveness is. And so we didn't, we want to do what's right, the right thing for our clients. We know that they're hurting, and we didn't want to put an additional fee burden on them when they're just trying to figure out how to continue their hopes and dreams through their business. And so that was the first, I guess that was the second clarification. The first one, can you remind me of what?
That you're growing.
That we are growing. Yeah. We've been growing because we have this technology that we feel like no one else in the world has, and that's Baco Tech. And that's what moved me from California to move to Dallas to this no-name firm called Baco Group. But it's because I believed in this technology so much that I was willing to sell my house and move my whole life out there. And this technology has really actually just made the CPA and customer relationship really, it just really brought us together. Instead of, hey, they're going to send me a PDF of a trial balance, or they're going to send me a PDF of Excel, I need to drop that into a trial balance software and then make all the adjustments. And then every month they're going to have to do the same thing over and over. That's madness. That's insanity. That's why your CPA can never talk to you. But now that with this technology, it's really allowed us to have a close, intimate relationship with our customers, where they don't even need to email me for us to be able to do work on them. And that's something that we've been kind of offering our clients for free. And yeah, we're offering this technology to other CPA firms so they can help get their lives back. At the end of the day, we want to make public accounting not a stepping stool for the young CPA's next career, but we want to make public accounting something where it's a desired profession again. It's something where, yeah, I wouldn't mind spending the next 30 years of my career doing. And we've been growing primarily because of this technology that's allowed us to have a life, not have a busy season, and take care of our customers well.
And Joe, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
One of the heroes, my main hero is a guy named Pastor Samuel Choi. He's been my pastor at a small church in Irvine called Center Church. And he's really poured into me and helped me in my marriage, in my professional life. And he's one of those guys who you would love for him to stab you in the front. And he has done that repeated times to me to help me to be who I am today and help me be who I will be in the future and leave a legacy for family and the business world.
And Joe, how can somebody get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me through bacogroup.com, BACOGROUP.com, or Twitter, JBACPA22. That's how to get a hold of me.
All right, Joe, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Advice podcast.
All right, thank you.
For more Sage Advice, visit and subscribe at sageadvicepodcast.com.